Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You may think, Rob, who's that on the other side of the screen? Like, what is going on with their hair and where are they? Harley, how is university life treating you?
University has changed me. I'm a new man. I mean, I'm suffering through freshers flu still.
Oh yeah,
So
precious flu, yeah.
yeah. So that's taken me down a peg or two. But no, new hair, as my friend Alex has been begging me to cut. I got the Walsall flag just here. Yeah,
Yeah,
the nice flat. Everything's different, but no, uni's going really well, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So,
good.
how are things with you, Rob?
Yeah, very well. The documentary that I launched is now like out there in the public domain, so it's on the channel. So please check
Yeah.
that out. I will,
Anyone who hasn't watched that, go watch it because it is genuinely really good. It is.
thank you. It's yeah, it's well, I mean, Harley knows that the when you watch it, you'll see that the storyline it's got quite an intriguing second half, and I think yeah, it's definitely worth it. We were kind of ready and braced, planning for a pretty dour video, but last night's performance, as we record this on the Wednesday against Northampton, is that a spark of hope?
See, the problem is that I'm trying to figure out whether it's a spark of hope or whether because Joe Edwards has stopped covering Walsall, we picked up 4 points, or because I didn't go last night. Maybe that's why. So is it that Joe was cursed? Am I cursed? Is there just a bit of hope? I'm not actually sure. It could be any of them, or it could be all of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I personally think that it is having Joe Riley in the commentary box that is the thing for you who get to go to the stadium and don't live miles away. You won't have heard the lovely tones of Joe Riley in the commentary box. I think it's safe to say that he is already a favourite without even kicking a ball. He was like a fan on there, and it was fantastic. Yeah, of course, we're going to have a new Walsall reporter from Express and Star at some point. I'd like to thank the couple of people who tagged me in the post of them looking for a new Walsall reporter. I don't know whether it was sarcastic or not, but thank you.
CV in.
Yes, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately.
You're a taken man. You've been
I am.
snapped up by someone else.
Yeah, I will be starting as an assistant producer at a group called Stats Perform, which most people won't have heard of, but they are Opta Stats digital branch at the end of the month. So no, I won't be.
Well done, you. Well done,
Thank you very much. It's been quite a positive start to this. I don't know how many minutes.
It has. It has. Northampton's really changed us, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to put out a bit of an apology for my rantings last week on social media of the season is over and it's only September. I would stick by that comment and say that just because we've had one win, I'm not going, yes, we're going to get promoted. But I think the frustration has been there to see. I've seen a lot of comments on Twitter that kind of back up this, that we're not getting outplayed by teams. We're not getting, absolutely thumped when we lose. Apologies for the email coming through on my laptop. If you heard that ping. The thing that's frustrating is that we're in games, we're just not taking our chances. And last night that could have been the case. We had a couple of good opportunities with Hutchinson and Knowles to score and to get a 2-0 lead. And it's not comfortable going forward still, is it?
Not really, no. It just doesn't seem to have clicked. And I think we've got all these really good attacking mids, but we just can't seem to find the one that works at the moment. We seem a little bit unsure as to how we want to score goals. And I think at the start of the season, we kind of had an idea that we were going to get balls into the 6-yard box for Danny Johnson, and we've kind of maybe other teams have figured that out, or maybe we've gone for something else, but it just doesn't seem to be working as well anymore. So it was. So you've had your rant, obviously, and we've all been there. We've all kind of said things in haste, and you said season's over already. And there are people who've been calling for Flynn's head, and it is justified. It's not something that we want, but there are genuine claims of managers have been sacked for less.
Yeah.
But maybe this can be a turning point for us because we all like him. He's a likable guy. He's clearly not an idiot. Like he's done it at Newport, but it's just about getting those results in now and getting that kind of turning point and getting those goals in because that's the real issue we've got. And you've touched upon it that we've got the chances. We are creating. We've had that all season. That was for the first season in a very long time. Chance creation isn't a problem, really.
Yeah.
It's putting them away because it's only Johnson who's scoring.
Which we've got a bit of a favourable run coming up. Like Wimbledon and Sutton United are near us in the league. And then we've got, obviously, Mansfield in between them. I think that's the order anyway. Wimbledon, Mansfield, Sutton. And it's going to be really interesting to see how we do without Johnson against Mansfield, because obviously he's not going to be able to play. I agree. I think Hutchinson, my boy Hutchinson, had a much better game last night. Hopefully, and I think the same with Douglas James Taylor. I think he had a really positive game. I don't think he looked like scoring at any point, but his hold-up play, his running, his sort of linking up with Johnson was quite good. And I don't think any of us really expected that when he was named as sort of Johnson's strike partner. I think we all felt it was going to be Williams after getting the late equaliser against Stockport. I think the whole Flynn debate is going to be covered in our questions. So I think we'll dig straight in there. And I'm going to try and find where it is. It was less of, here we go. It was Lee Reynolds saying, does Flynn need the time to get a squad together that can really compete for promotion, i.e. Jan transfer window next summer to mould a squad? Surely it's a 2-3 year project to make sure we're strong enough for promotion and to stay in League One. What are your thoughts on the whole how long should we give Flynn debate?
It's kind of like how long's a piece of string, to be honest. It's really hard to say, isn't it? Because you want to give him as long as you can, but at the same time, we need results. And you don't want to kind of hurt yourself for the rest of the season by having this really bad run now. But at the same time, it needs to better things in the future. There is that argument as well. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But it's a really tricky thing, projects in League Two. I have a lot of kind of friends, who are fans of League Two clubs. And we've spoken about kind of our predicament. And they've all kind of said the same thing. It's really, really difficult to have a project in League Two. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
When it does work, it's fantastic, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't. So do we go down the route of trying to have a project, trying to back a manager for 2 or 3 years, go through some really rough patches, but if something comes good at the end, then it's worked. But what if it doesn't? What if we 2 years down the line we're still lower League Two with Michael Flynn?
Yeah, I think I personally feel that it's time that we stick with a manager. I think obviously we all hoped Clark would be that manager, but 18 months in, not a lot was changing, but we've all seen what's happened with Vale afterwards. Let's not talk about Dutton. Taylor, I mean, it's very interesting, actually. I don't know if people haven't read, I think it's called The Coach's Voice?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
It's been shared around quite a lot, but Matt Taylor did an interview, and I thought it was really insightful that he's almost admitted.
Yeah, I did too, yeah.
Admitted that he, when he got the sack, it was fair because he was to sticking on that. And I do genuinely think that he will grow from that experience and become a better manager. I think
what came across to me in that was like I think he understood that he was naive as a manager, that he thought his plan A was the only thing that was going to breed success.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that other managers and we can learn from, that, even in football, in life, plan A isn't always the thing that's going to work. You have to have backup plans. You have to have contingency plans.
Yeah.
You have to try different things.
Yeah.
Even if it, like last night, I looked at that team against Northampton and I was like, there's no way we'll win this. That's a dreadful lineup. I was like, so I wrote it off before we'd started, but it worked. It wasn't Flynn's plan A. It was probably his plan like G or something, but it came together and it worked, and we got 3 points.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I felt the same. I looked at the lineup and I thought, why is Williams not starting? Why Kinsella and Comey together? Like, why is White in the team? There was a lot of questions, but I mean, and I tweeted this. Everyone did their job, and it showed what a team we can be. Because I felt that that it wasn't the smoothest defending at times. There was some hacked clearances. There was some sort of that it wasn't a real like wow 10 out of 10 performance. But we got 3 points, and at the moment, I will take that any match. And there's games where we've played a lot better and not got like results.
Exactly.
And I felt that we were a good value for 3 points last night. I think it was a fair result.
And you do have to say as well, that was the most informed team in the league, and we kept a clean sheet against them.
Yeah,
they've got someone who scored 11 goals so far.
Yeah, Northampton aren't a pushover. And however annoying and frustrating he was last night, Guthrie was team of the season last season in League Two.
Yeah.
And I don't know really much else about their teams. They have brought in different players, but they will be up there this season. I have no doubt about that. But no, I think going back to the point, I think Flynn has shown what he can do when he's given time with a club. I know he didn't get Newport promoted, but he got them into the playoff finals twice. And I think we owe him a season to start getting, with the amount of players he's brought in, they're not all going to work out, and we know that. I think he needs time to build this squad and build his way of doing things. We can all argue whether he churned too many, whether he should have kept certain players like Menese and Kiernan, and there's a lot, and Perry as well. But I think, however much my rant and frustration was, I still would want to keep Flynn.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the only time really is obviously that he should go is if, we are like lower third, League Two, or obviously if we're doing really well and someone comes in for him that's in League One or above, and you can't really stand in the manager's way for that. But I think, despite the frustration, I think it's the reason there was so much frustration is because it was plain to see that there are points dropped for really stupid reasons and late lapses in concentration, not because we're getting overrun and outplayed by teams. So I think that quite thoroughly answers that. And actually, a couple of replies that the squad's still like fraught with injury, and you can see with the likes of when Gordon's come back and there's more depth, the fact that it sounds as though they might have found the source of Riley's injury. Don't know how long that means that he'll be out for. The same with Wilkinson back on the grass. As soon as you start introducing these players, it's going to be a stronger squad to choose from. Right, I'm going to go to Jason Winnell. Tonight's result shows that Kinsella and Comey partnership can work in midfield, particularly against stronger sides. But do we need a more attacking intent from midfield to be able to break down poorer teams, particularly when playing at home? If so, who gets dropped? I have quite a strong opinion on this.
You go first, and I want to hear this strong opinion. I'm
I
interested.
think Kinsella showed that he can help an attack in last night's performance.
Mm.
And you look at the goal and you look at the movement. If you look at the side angle that they tweeted today,
Yeah,
he does have an attacking brain. And I think allowing him to play more box to box will help that with him and Cody playing together.
I mean, I think it's absolutely possible that they can play together and do a good job. I, I don't buy into this. You can't have two defensive centre mids. I don't, as in a double visit, I don't buy into it that you can't have it. Of course you can. You can have whatever you want because these players, they might not be the best in the world, but they're still professional footballers. They can offer something going forward and offer something defensively. It's about how you're extracting that out of those players. But if you have a solid base, the reason it's not their fault that we're not scoring goals. No one is asking Liam Kinsella to score goals.
Yeah.
Yes, he could be slightly more progressive, but we know what kind of player he is.
But I felt
The onus.
He was supporting the attack in a sense of, all right, he's not up there as like, playing off of Johnson as a striker, but he was getting into the channels and so, because he's so energetic, getting out into the wider positions to help when the ball was being held up. And I think it's that we needed. And he actually put in a couple of decent balls into the box that yes, make contact with them, but I think he is starting to, and I think the more those two work together, the more they will get that understanding.
But I think the onus is on the attacking midfielder, the 10, to create.
Yeah.
That's their job. And I feel like Hutchinson, Knowles, Maddox, whoever else has played there, has gone missing in games.
Yeah.
And it's partly because they haven't been playing as well as they can, and partly because we still struggle with being press proof. So we hit it long, we bypass the midfield. So then it doesn't give Conley and Kinsella a chance to get on the ball. It doesn't give Maddox or Knowles or whoever's playing that 10 right a chance to get on the ball and receive it. We're pumping up to the striker, losing the ball, and then their job is to win it back. Really, that's what they're kind of doing at the moment.
Yeah.
And if we're not playing progressively through them, how can they show their offensive abilities?
I think Knowles, Hutchinson, Maddox have all shown glimpses that they can do it, but it's the consistency by far.
We need to keep the ball on the floor and play through them and have them outlets.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's because that we're not doing that enough for them to be effective or they're not making use of the chances. But I feel we need more from them. And
we need more willing runners as well.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a lack of. Johnson isn't a willing runner. That's not his game. He's the man who gets on the end of things.
I don't really remember him doing much other than scoring last night, which is what.
That's what we've got him for. Yeah, we need other players. We need the wing backs like Liam Bennett to be more marauding. We need whoever the other striker is, whether it be Williams or Abraham or James Taylor or Knowles, they need to be the runners. And even if it's not the person with the 10 who is on the ball, they need to be making runs as well so that Kinsella and Conley can play those passes.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be making progressive runs who are attacking players. I feel like we're not doing that. We're quite stagnant in how we play. We stand around a lot.
Yeah, and almost we will keep our defensive shape.
Yeah.
would keep our sort of yeah. I think that will come the more that the
Mm.
players get, and also I think
Yeah.
it's we haven't really seen this team hit the ground, like really have like a run of 5 or 6 games where they are, firing on all cylinders. I think it would be very different on that run because I think you get that confidence
Mm.
of, and I think you could see the confidence from the first minute yesterday after the late equaliser against Stockport.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that Stockport was a dreadful game. It's the almost morale boost of scoring a late equaliser.
I think it was the late equaliser, the fact it was in front of the away end, and the fans were all at the corner flag,
Yeah,
and getting that little bit of luck and
yeah,
that kind of giving the fans something to smile about, even though we didn't deserve anything from the game, picking up a point, you can't help but smile a little bit because you've taken something from nothing.
yeah,
And I think that little spark has ignited something, and it's a very small flame, a very, very small flame, but there is a bit of a flame there now.
yeah. And I think, yeah, it's the Saturday, Tuesday. I think actually we don't have a midweek next week, which is good. But the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday momentum is fine when you're doing better.
Yeah.
But it's not the slog and the fitness issues. It's players want to get out there and play because
Yeah.
they're doing well. Moving on, Jay Rayner, who has been the most impressive signing so far? I'll let you go first on this because I don't actually. There's a couple.
I think there's an obvious answer here, and I'd say it's Danny Johnson.
Yeah,
He's got what nine goals now. He's the only one of the attacking players who's actually scoring consistently. Yeah, I would say purely by numbers and what he's won us games, he would be my pick.
yeah. I mean, we are going to get to both of these players because there's questions about them. I agree, and I think alongside Bennett, who has been Mr. Consistent, and if you're talking about progressive runs, I mean, like he will pick the ball up from the goal line and just drive with it, and I think he's up there with Johnson. But for Johnson's goals as pretty much our only goal scorer, I think we can't really look to anybody else. But while we were on
The other person I'd throw in there.
go on.
And the other person I'd throw in there is Taylor Allen. I think we didn't expect much from Taylor Allen, but he's been excellent from the get-go. And Liam Gordon's come back into the side and he's already dropped to the bench because
Yeah,
Taylor Allen is better. He is. He's a better player. And Gordon's going to have time to develop and get his fitness back. But he's going to struggle to get in ahead of Allen now, I think.
yeah, yeah. Talking of, we've got a couple of January questions, so I'm going to kind of merge a couple together. So, firstly, where are you? I've just closed it. That's helpful. I've completely lost that. That is so annoying. Here we go. Stuart B. What will the January transfer window hold for us? And then, we'll move on to sort of like the other transfer related questions. But what do you think January holds for us?
I mean, that's a very difficult question.
Are we going with our normal January disappointment, or are we going optimistic? Because I look and I go, I would love to just, I'd actually just love to keep the team we've got for the time.
Yeah. If we can keep Bennett and Johnson, it's a successful window.
Yeah.
If we can bring in some reinforcements, maybe another centre half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know. I think it's more just keeping the squad together because I think it's a good squad.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be keeping hold of Bennett and Johnson. Then if they go replacing Bennett and Johnson, but also I think a centre half wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah. I don't think we get anyone as good as Bennett though. I think he's an absolute steal to have on loan for the season because he is League One level, and Cambridge knew that when they loaned him to
Yeah.
us.
I mean, at the time when he signed, Cambridge supporters were sort of a little bit like, huh? like,
Yeah, exactly. I
and
think you can. I think you can replace Johnson's goals. It wouldn't be easy, but I think it can be done. I
yeah,
don't think we get in anyone as good as Bennett. Personally, I think that would be a job for the next summer.
yeah. Um, Jack Clark, which one of the loanees would you consider bringing in on a permanent basis? I'm guessing by that your answer is Bennett.
I mean, if it was at all possible, then obviously, because he's the type of player that if we did go up, he could easily make that transition into League One.
Yeah,
He
and
could even, I think he's got potential to play in the Championship. So he's a player that could grow with the club, but
yeah,
it's not a signing we're likely to make ever.
is he 20, 21?
Something like that, yeah.
Like he's at the age where you sign him on a like a 2-3 year deal, and you kind of almost go, we hopefully will sell you at some point and get a fair amount of money if we don't go
Mm.
up. Um, and then, like I said, I'm rattling through these because they're all very, very similar questions. Um, Gary Watts or Gaz Watts has said, would you consider not signing any other players but keeping Johnson and Bennett a good window with the possible return of the injured players on top? And I think yeah, I genuinely think if we keep the squad and we get the likes of Wilkinson and the likes of McKenty fit as well as Riley, I I would kind of go, yeah, that's not it's a decent window. Um, but I struggle to see that we keep Bennett.
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
tend
more
to
likely
agree
to
with that
keep
one.
Johnson, which is mad considering the goals he scored. But
I think there's a deal to be made where I think realistically I think we could get Johnson
yeah,
because I don't think Mansfield want him.
no, and I
But
think
they have a bit of an issue with strikers, but they can't recall him. I don't think he solves their problems if they bring him back. So I think they probably just, if they get another striker in, which I think it will be their plan in January, I think they'd sell him to us.
am I making this up, or do we have an option to buy in January?
We don't.
We don't, that we
We
know of.
don't. We have a gentleman's agreement
Well,
to
yeah,
buy, but
because I know
the,
that
we sort of have first refusal, but it's not in writing, is my understanding of it.
yeah. See, I know that what kind of the reading into it from that Clough basically said that Johnson won't be a Mansfield player in January, but whether he means because we have an option to buy and we'll exercise that, or whether he means we will literally just sell him to anybody.
I think it means they'll sell him to anybody. I think they'll sell him to the highest bidder.
Yeah,
But I think that we've got the money to buy him, and I think that if this is the turning point in our form, even if it's not brilliant, even if we're just, we're taking, say, like more than 6 points from 12, consistently, then I think he'll sign with us because he'll be comfortable with the club. I think he'll be
yeah.
comfortable with the team. I think he likes Flynn. I think he would stay. I
After,
can't see him going anywhere else.
I mean, he's already scored more than he did last season.
Yeah,
So you kind of feel as a striker, you'd go where you're scoring goals. But it
exactly. Yeah.
depends if like a League One club comes in for him. You never know. I think that'll be the stumbling block. I have no doubt that there is a deal to be made there, and I feel that Travella, Pomlet, Flynn will look and go, we have to do our best to get him because he not only is he a proven goal scorer, he's a proven goal scorer that's scoring for us. And you can't. I know you said about Bennett, but if you want to make a success of this season, you've got to get the guy that's scoring goals for you.
Yeah.
Like it's not we're launching a bid for a player that we're not sure of that could be a proven goal scorer. It's someone who's already netted 9 for the season.
Yeah.
Which, that's like if he was to stay with us and continue that, that's like Bradshaw numbers. And we haven't had that since Bradshaw.
Yeah.
So
we don't have the worst relationship with Mansfield as well, because we did buy many assets from last season.
yeah, they owe us for that.
So like exactly. So there is and
I think
there's a line of communication there.
Do they need the money as well? The fact that they're having to pull fixtures back to try and save on the energy bills. I don't know how much you would pay for a striker with 6 months left, but I think if we've got the money there, you do it.
Yeah. I think we would have to go early, put our cards on the table and say we want him and we want him now.
I'd be talking now about it. You'd be talking to them as an open dialogue and be like, look, you don't want to keep him, we want him. Let's get this so that we can almost sign it off on January 1st.
Yeah, literally. I think that's what we would be doing. I can't see why we wouldn't, but you never know what goes on behind the scenes, but I think we'd have to, surely.
Yeah. And I mean, I would probably say Johnson over Bennett in that respect, that I'd keep, because however much I agree with you on that Bennett's got something we can't replace, I also think that we are so desperate for the goal scorer that
See, I think for me, it's because I think that Bennett is a player that can grow the club.
Yeah.
So I think he could stay with us for a long time, 2, 3, 4 years, and he could go up the leagues with us. Johnson, I don't know. He's a great striker at the moment, but we don't know what's gonna. Strikers, their value is in their goals.
Yeah,
and it goes up and it goes up and it goes down. Bennett, his stock is only rising. Johnson's could crash if he has another bad season, which is entirely possible.
I'll agree.
Mine's more for the future. Mine's more from a business perspective.
Yeah.
But if we're talking this season, it would be Johnson.
Oh, no doubt about that. I think in terms of like a saleable asset, Bennett would be a much smarter investment.
Yeah.
But 2 things. One, I would be gobsmacked if Cambridge let
Never happening.
They will.
Never happening.
They will. I would take just the whole season with him.
It would be a transfer record if we bought him in.
Yeah, but I just don't think Cambridge will also look at him as a saleable asset, probably to a club that's got more money than we do.
Can you break your transfer record on a right wing back?
Yeah. Did it on a striker, and that all went south. So
yeah. I mean, I could understand like a striker or a midfielder, but a right wing back, I don't know.
I mean, look, if he did sign, I wouldn't be against it.
No. It'd be a strange bit of business, but I'd love it.
Yeah, I'd be gobsmacked if Cambridge actually let him come to us. I think he would probably be looking at getting in their squad next season after the way he's played.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, kind of talking about the players that we'd keep, obviously all of them. This is sort of a if we do and if we don't, I feel. So we've got a question from, and I've closed the tab, of course I did. I'm going to have to go back and find who this question's from. Jay Rayner, there we go. Realistically, where will we finish this season? And he also said about who's been our most impressive signing, which we kind of debated between Johnson and Bennett. So, Harley, January, we keep Johnson and Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we finishing in this season?
I I would say probably top 14, 15. So I would say somewhere between 11th and 15th.
If we keep the team as it is.
Yeah.
Well, I dread asking you what you think if we lose them.
If we lose them, we're probably down about like 17th, 18th, I reckon.
Wow, that is your optimism went in the course of this
Yeah.
recording.
I mean, I don't know. We could be Bristol Rovers, we could be Mansfield, who like make a late storm up the league, but I don't know. I'm not convinced that this season, after everything I've watched, I'm not convinced this season's the season. I think we might have a richer vein of form towards the end of the season, but I think we've made a rod for our own back going 12 without a win. And I don't think we're going to get the form that we need to overcome that until maybe March, April. And I think we're just going to be too far away from playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still don't think we're going to hit the playoffs. Like, I am feeling much better today than I did last week. I'd say with them between sort of like 10th and 12th, just in the top half. And I think if we were to lose them, probably like 13th to 16th, I'm kind of going just in the top half or just in the bottom half, dependent on.
I think we'll be bang average this season, like right down the middle.
Yeah, and I don't mind that actually. If
it's a bang average that finishes well and offers optimism for next season under Michael Flynn, I'm happy with that.
I think bang average where, we win a couple, inevitably lose a couple, win a couple, rather than this like that dreadful run.
What about
okay,
bang average, but we get to like the third round of the FA Cup or like the fourth round?
I'd take getting to the third round.
That's what I want. Bang average
true,
with a bit of a cup run.
It'd be true Walsall to like, knowing us, we'll get to the third round and then like lose to some, like we'll draw like a mid-table League One club, like I don't know, like Accrington.
Yeah.
And like we'll kind of be like, oh, it's not really the away day we wanted, but we'll probably lose. I think that's yeah. But you never know. I think we've got to try and get in the hat for the third round of the FA Cup, absolutely. Because I don't even know whether I'm in the country for the third. I'm not for the fourth round of the FA Cup. So, no, that's fine by me.
I think that's the best we can hope for.
Cool. Well, lovely and optimistic. Before we get on to our big final question from a very good friend of mine, Dave Howells, any final comments? Any sort of, we kind of did players that need a good month, players that like sort of it's a big month for. Who would you say that for October it's a big month for?
I think it's the strikers other than Johnson. So I think it's Tom Knowles. I think it's Andy Williams. I think is it Danny Cashman? Is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they need to start scoring because Tom Knowles, he can finish. Like I've watched him warming up. I know he can score.
And he scored a bloody good goal. Like his goal against Colchester.
Maybe. Yeah.
It was a good finish.
Yeah, he can score. Like he's got a wicked shot on him. But he for some reason, like he gets unlucky and sometimes he just drags them wide. And also, I wish he'd pick up his head sometimes and just look for the pass. Like he's just a bit selfish, and I understand he just wants the goals. Same. But please, just we've got issues where like we've got someone like Jacob Maddox who is terrified of shooting and would rather pass even when there's not a passer. And then we've got Tom Knowles, who's the exact opposite, who just doesn't understand how to pass in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with two different players, but I agree with what you said. And that thing of passing rather than shooting or shooting rather than passing is huge. There was one opportunity last night where Hutchinson hustled the ball like right on like for the world it was going out for a goal kick, and he managed to do this like smart back heel, kept it in play, and Williams pulled back to the edge of the box, and it's like just roll it in. The defenders were kind of like running towards goal, and he took the shot, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Same with Knowles at times, like they're so desperate to get on the score sheet, which we
can understand
that, but. So my two are the kind of like I'm going to call them the building fitness players.
Right.
So I'm going with Maddox and Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Because I think we've seen from both players that there is a spark there while they're not fully fit. That is in match fit, sorry. And I think if they can, sort of up to like a 6 or 7 out of 10 performances when they are, whether it's off the bench or whether they're starting, it will begin to cause a selection headache. And I think they have a responsibility to be performing better to push the rest of the team with them.
Yeah, I think Gordon, he lacks a little bit. He's a bit low in confidence at the moment. He struggled. He struggled at Stockport. He was had miles off it. I think Maddox, he needs to work hard now because he's not going to get many more opportunities in the Football League. I don't think.
No,
if it doesn't work out here, it's not going to work anywhere. I don't think, because he's got the ability, but it's using it. It's getting the goal contributions and putting the performances in.
I'm going to potentially I'm just Googling whether it is the right player that I'm thinking of here.
Is there a bold claim from there? I feel like there's a bold claim.
No, it's not. It's not. No.
I feel like you were building to a bold claim there.
No, what I was going to say is it's sort of the Billy Clifford conundrum.
Billy Clifford conundrum. I like it.
See, and I needed to make sure it was the right player before I made it. And by that, I mean technical ability has come through Chelsea's youth. Technically a very good player, but can they do that in a league that is less technical?
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I'm a big fan of the Billy Clifford conundrum.
Yeah, that is. He only played like 13 games for us, but it's that thing of, like Clifford's career after us, Boreham Wood, then went to Crawley, okay, then back to Boreham Wood, Hemel Hempstead, Billericay, Slough, Wealdstone, Havant, Waterlooville. Like it's not looking great after us.
No.
But it's that thing of where do you go?
It's a bit now or never for him. Yeah. This season is huge for his career. This is the season that could either propel him to the Championship or send him down to lower than the conference, the Isthmian Premier League. Yeah.
Right. It's time for the big one.
This one's been coming.
It's been
brewing all video.
No one asked me about my skincare routine, which is very boring. That I know you.
Do you want me to ask you about your skincare routine?
No, I'm going to wait until someone actually asks for it. Dave Howells, what is your favourite type of apple?
Do you want me to take this one on first?
You can take this on first because I've got a bit of a bombshell for everyone.
There is stipulations in this comment, I believe, where you can't say Granny Smith or Pink Ladies, isn't there? So that rules out two of the heavy hitters. The only other type of apple I can think of would be a crab apple.
Oh, wow. That's not name your favourite. That's just name a, like.
Well, I think crab apples can't you make apple crumbles and stuff with them? They're the ones that you can't eat.
Cider from them as well.
Yeah, the ones that you can't eat but you can like make things with. That's
Yeah.
useful. I like cider. I can eat apple crumble. It's not my
you
favorite, but
like cider and you like dessert, is what you're trying to say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
I think that's a valid answer.
I hope you're. Are you ready for my
I'm ready.
response? It is so pathetic, but I'm
Mm.
actually allergic to apples.
You're allergic.
So
You've
growing
got to
up,
answer the question though.
well, I haven't eaten an apple for
You've
probably
got to tell us what your favorite apple is
20.
though.
It's been like 20 years. So I can have them when they're cooked, and I can have them as a cider.
Mm.
But raw, like just no,
I've never met anyone else who's allergic to
no,
apples.
and it's so pathetic, so
Mm.
pathetic. It used to be apples and strawberries were the two big ones, but I've grown out the strawberries one. But the
Right. How can you
strawberry,
just grow out of being allergic to something?
you can, you apparently you can. Um,
What?
but the strawberry one only came on when I was in my teens, whereas apples I've always had it. So I'm kind
I
of like,
mean, for the
yeah,
people watching, just try and tell me that you don't learn things while you're watching this.
yeah.
Just try and tell me that.
Like, but no, recently, and this is only like about 3 months ago, I tried strawberries again because they say you need
You
to.
risked your life for a
I did,
strawberry.
it's not that bad. Like I'm not, I'm not like going into anaphylactic shock or anything.
Mm.
But I, yeah, they say to try them every like few years, and that you can grow
Yeah.
out of like certain allergies, like minor,
Right.
not like like have severe allergies to like bees. Don't go out and try and buy a bee.
Stick your hand in the
Yeah,
nest.
like I'm not talking that. I'm talking like little like with me.
Mm.
It's like looks like I've had Botox and
Right. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
But no, that is so. Yeah. Thank you for asking that question. Uh, I think we as a pair will agree on this, Harley, that we look forward to these ridiculous questions as
I
much.
love a ridiculous question. That's my favorite type of question.
So, yeah, there you go.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
You do, and it's the like so pathetic.
Mm.
So
It's a bizarre thing to know. But now we know more about you as a person, Rob. Yeah.
yeah, and what fruit I can and cannot eat.
Exactly. This is going on the Wikipedia page. This is.
Yeah, when I'm and it'll be like reference this video. So yeah, hopefully, ladies and gents, that was a good way to end the video. Hopefully, we will have a good October to talk about.
We had a good October last year. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We had a great October last year.
We went unbeaten, didn't we? So
yeah,
can we do that again?
yeah. Who knows? Maybe it's just October's Walsall's like time of the year.
We'll see in 4 weeks.
May even
We'll know.
should start doing like month season tickets or like month tickets where just it's like come down and support Walsall for October because we'll actually not be dreadful.
Well, this is it. We've shown in the past that we have good business acumen. This is another good idea that the club should be looking into.
Yeah. If
October tickets,
we do an October, like an unbeaten October again, then next year it should be something where you can do an October
season ticket.
Yeah. We call it the Oktoberfest ticket. Like
exactly.
Come on. Like we're providing.
It's a slam dunk. That is.
This is free business advice.
If Ben Boycott's not watching and taking notes, I'll be surprised.
I'd be upset actually. And Ben, if you are watching and you've made it all the way through to this, just leave a comment. That's all we need to know. Just like
and a like as well.
Yeah.
Maybe subscribe.
We don't see who the likes are though. So
yeah, but still, just leave a like. Leave a like and a comment.
Like Ben, just even if it's just a thumbs up comment that you've read and acknowledged.
It all helps. It all helps.
Yeah. And on that note, thank you everyone for watching. Harley, I'm glad to see that you're surviving at uni as well. I should have said that earlier. Like, hopefully you are, being able to cook wash clothes,
Yeah,
and
get in there.
yeah,
Yeah, no. Thank you very much. I mean, we'll see in a month's time whether I have taken to uni life and can live on my own, or whether I've died. So
yeah,
whether a video goes out in 4 weeks, we'll let you know that basically.
yeah.
The
And
fate of me.
yeah, if it's just me from now on, then you know why. And we had to record this at a specific time today because Harley had evening plans whilst at uni. So shows who's the exciting one out of the two of us. We had to fit it in between me finishing work and your evening.
Exactly. We got it done though. We got it done.
Yeah, we did.
That's how we operate. We just get things done.
We do.
Yeah, we're a bit of a kind of Brandon Conley. Just get it done.
Yeah, we are proof that Kinsella and Comey can work together.
Exactly.
You know,
Because we're just two players who just get it done.
yeah, not a lot of technical ability between the two of us.
No.
But yeah. Right. We will see you soon, people.
See you later.